All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Bahashim, Makakadash. Double honor to apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, blessings, and salutations to you, sincere Akim out there pushing the truth across the four corners of earth. All right, just want to open up with this. Ecclesiastes 10 and 6. Just thinking about, the state that we're in and the shit that we're seeing and, all the folly. All right. It said, folly is sit in great dignity, and the rich sit in a low place. And that's exactly, it's just talking about us. All right. The scriptures say, I've seen, servants walking. I've seen a servants alike. I've seen servants on horses. I've seen princes walking. All right. And that's exactly what's going on, man, in this place. When you turn on the TV, you see nothing but folly. All right. Used to be to a point where you could kind of cut it off, maybe cut on National Geographic or something, but now, the earth is given under the hand of Esau so well, they took all that stuff off. It's nothing but reality TV shows, folly, all right? It's nothing but them trying to seek after, that's ultimately what they're doing with the cameras, man. They're trying to seek after, all right? But the scriptures tells you that basically they have a point where they cannot cross. Okay, they can only go so far. They can only go so deep under the ocean, so far into space. All right. Only so many secrets of the earth that they can discover. All right, and the Lord has set it up that way from the beginning. All right, and that's how we know, because everybody wants to use that, spiritual riches, and I'm spirit, so they make it sound cheesy, but no, it's true. Right, looking down at yourself and seeing, especially after you exercise your senses and seeing that you're an Israelite, you realize, man, we're rich in spirit. We have the gift of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. We have this invaluable gift that's been given to us. All right, but right now we're in a low place, and we're waiting on, the Lord, because of what it say, when you thou be patient, will now be put into a lower state. All right, look at the men who came before us, man, all the things that the Lord blessed them with. Because the scriptures tell you, what does it say, the elder world was wide. Basically, man, these men had, hundreds of acres. They had all these cattle. They had all this land, all these possessions, all these wives, all these, palaces, all these different places. All right, but when the time came, and the Lord had to take all that away from us. And then he had to put us in a position to where we can earn it back, all right? That's why his son, he sacrificed his, our Lord, Yahweh Shai. All right, and then we have to go through our tribulation just as, Yahweh Shai, our master, had to go through as well. All right? He said, right, verse 7, I've seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth. You see these different statues of Esau. What does he always show? Usually if it's some kind of leader, like down in St. Louis, they'll show St. Louis, he's on a horse, all right? Roosevelt, from the Rough Riders, he's always on a horse. Usually Esau show himself on that horse because just like the apostles always bring out, that a horse represents power. Okay, when it talks about the missiles, it talks about... Matter of fact, let me get that, which John saw in Revelations. It says, what's this say? Right. Yeah, this is what John saw. He saw these, he saw these different planes during these different during the world wars. Okay, it says Revelation 9 and 7, and the shapes of the locusts were like unto horses prepared in the battle, and on their heads were as it were crowns like gold, and their faces were as the faces of men, and they had hair as the hair of women, and their teeth were as the teeth of lions, and they had breastplates as if it was. So he was trying to describe basically what he was seeing, with the things that he knew. And as it were breastplates of iron, and the sound of their wings was as the sound of chariots of many horses running to battle. Basically, that's talking about a plane, okay? It said, and they had tails like unto scorpions, and there were stings in their tails, and their power was to hurt men 5 months. And they had a kick. Right. Alright, then in verse 12 it says, one woe was past, and behold, there come 2 woes more hereafter. Alright, so it's talking about world war. Okay, so he was seeing things from, he said one woe. Woe means destruction. You know, he's talking about basically 2 more woes after. That's how we know there's going to be a World War III. That's why you see some of the Hebrew Israelite videos. World War III, World War III. This is from the First World War. All right, it's referring to it as a woe. Then you got 2 more coming after that. All right, so you know this is serious business, man. It's go time. All right, and just like brothers are bringing out that Mark 13:25, and the stars of heaven shall fall, and the powers that are in heaven shall be shaken. Matter of fact, let's start at verse 24. Matter of fact, let's start at 22. Salaki, I'm sniffling. For false messiahs and false prophets shall rise and shall show signs and wonders to seduce, if it were possible, even the elect. You got all the signs and the wonders and the people doing numerology and all the bullshit. To try to confuse, and everything is like that, man. It's that aspect of confusion, but ultimately the elect is going to obtain that salvation, and the elect is going to get what the Lord, is showing them. But take ye heed, behold, I have foretold you all things. But in those days, after that tribulation, the sun shall be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light. And that's talking about basically their wisdom and knowledge, all right? The different dumb shit that they're doing, like right now, this whole COVID thing. Esau was sitting in lying through his teeth about these numbers, trying to inflate shit. They're talking about 200,000 deaths in the U.S. based on COVID, which a lot of the shit that they might have died of something else, but they attributed it to COVID. All right, so now you got to wear these masks. Everybody's selling the mask. It's complete bullshit. But then I saw an article. They're doing studies on children in schools, because Esau, he'll take that seriously. They'll protect their livelihood. They'll protect their home. They're talking about how low it is with children. All right. So, and just like the elder up here in Chicago always brings out, Elder Malcolm, you look at the homeless, it should be clear, they should be dropping dead like flies, because they don't social distance, they don't have great hygiene, all right? A lot of them are on drugs and shit, so their immune system is already weak, they don't have health insurance and shit, they basically, they shit where they can, in an alley or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Eating out of the trash, they don't have the best immune system. All right, so that shit should have cut them. They're the weak link in the pack, and that stuff they should have been dropping dead like flies basically. All right, but you look around here up in Chicago, it's more homeless than I've ever seen in my life. Almost damn near every light. Especially you go in the Jake community, that's where Jake and Esau go to beg at. All right, which is interesting. All right, but back to the scriptures though, it says, and the stars of heaven shall fall, and the powers that are in heaven shall be shaken. And that's what you're seeing now, man. Hollywood is through. All right, the movies are closing. Hey, I think they just opened back up, but people ain't going to that shit. How you going to the movies? You gotta sit. You know what I'm saying? Usually you go with somebody, it's a whole experience, blase. How you have to sit, 6 feet apart, but you enjoying the movie. You got to worry about that shit. You got people, not talking about me, but the minds of these people, they're supposed to be trying to enjoy the movie. You got the most deadly virus out, airborne. And you sitting here watching it. No, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. All right, that shit ain't coming back. Nobody's checking for Hollywood. And now, the secrets of Esau are being made bare, just like the scriptures talk about. All right, the whole Hollywood pedophile thing and weirdo shit, it's all coming out. It's all surfacing. All right, hey, for years they wouldn't let Jake wanted to join the Boy Scouts and all this shit, because they wanted to, basically that was Esau, given a rite of passage program, trying to teach his children, militants, basically teaching them, preparing them for the army, preparing them for the way of the sword, all right, which that's what Esau believes in over everything, the sword, all right, that destruction. Jake couldn't join, so Jake went off and did the gang shit, and it was wicked. They did a brotherhood, but it was under the left hand. It wasn't under the Lord. All right. Right now, the Lord has it where his men are being built up. All right, because the scriptures talk about the house of David coming back. The scriptures talk about I will make basically paraphrasing, the truth in your mouth, as living waters. All right. Men and women are gonna see dreams. Men are gonna prophesy. All these things are happening. All right, and that's how you know a false prophet too, because the things that they say are not going to happen, or it doesn't line up with the scriptures. All right. Hey, the chip, that's something we always got to bring out. The chip is coming. Everybody can see it. All right. I couldn't find it. I'm gonna have to go back and try to look for it. But I was watching the news, and they were talking about the Chicago Bears. They got to wear these different RFID tags, basically. And the tag, if you get close to somebody else with the tag, it'll go off. It'll alert, so they can monitor people and see who's social distancing and who's not. Basically. And they're using that, but the tag. The thing about it, the tag is on the necklace. All right, so basically you could just take the tag off, and then bada boom, bada bam. All right, and that's with football. NBA, they had a bubble. That shit, complete bugged out. You're supposed to social distance, but you got guys out here, playing basketball against each other. Which, again, it shows you how stupid this shit is. If you this is the most deadly virus ever. Why would you have a bunch of guys on the court sweating? All right, bumping into each other, going up for dunks and, running through each other. It's an athletic event. It's going to be contact. It's a contact sport. They don't have masks on. All right, it's just complete bullshit, and it just shows Esau. Esau didn't want to shut down everything, because those things are still bringing in millions and billions of dollars off of Jake's name, but. It just shows you just the hypocrisy and the madness. Now they got the NFL coming back, all right? What it's saying, the stars of heaven shall fall, and the powers that are in heaven shall be shaken. And these celebrities, they're dropping like flies. They're supposed to be the pinnacle of a society. That's why they call a star, right? Heaven means rulership, all right, in this particular context. And then this whole star thing. This whole star thing is, is something they actually took from the Bible, all right? And even now, but this is, but back to it, Salakia, because right now I'm at work, and even these trucks, they got monitor systems in now, man. They got cameras in them, and then not only just the camera, right? For to see what you're doing or where you're driving, because for insurance purposes or whatever, but it's got a microphone in it to see, what you're saying, what you're listening to. All right, so this devil, and this is becoming commonplace, man. This is becoming commonplace. All right, so ain't no. That's why the scriptures say Esau's wiser than Daniel. There's no secrets you can hide from thee. All right, because he was given this technology of destruction. But the Lord is going to use that against him. That's why the scriptures say he that diggeth the pit for somebody else, basically he's going to fall into it himself. Yeah, they built that missile. They built the nukes as a worldwide threat. All right, so they deal with these different countries. Look, we got bombs. We got this shit. All right, now that technology has gotten out, so everybody's got it. All right, how they say, everybody got guns. Everybody has bombs. Everybody has nukes. The formula's out. The word is out. All right, and we know what's going to happen according to prophecy, man. It's going to become the lake of fire. That nuclear fire is going to take over. All right, verse 26, though, and then shall they see the Son of Man coming in the clouds with great power and glory. Then shall he send his angels and shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from the uttermost parts of the earth to the uttermost part of heaven. Right. And right. So that's what we're looking to attain. We're looking to be in that number of the elect, right? When the saints go marching in. All right, but you get what I'm trying to say, man. But back to the stars of the heaven. Rather, you get what the scriptures are saying because it's written plain. Let me say it like that, Salakia. All right, but the stars of heaven. You know, you look at these different celebrities. You know, the thing that's coming out now that's being made bare by Esau is the contract thing. All right. Nobody wants to do business with Esau, especially Amalek, all right, because they're seeing how these contracts are. They're seeing how they do business. They're seeing how they cheated and defrauded and swindled, you know, in every single industry that they get their hands on, all right? How they charge, they overtax, you know. No way. I mean, you still got some suckers, you know, who still want to become rappers and shit. But overall, man, that shit is dead. Nobody cares about that shit anymore. All right, yeah. Kobe died in 1 year. Black Panther died, and you got somebody else is gonna go too, man. Lord willing, that they be made an example of. All right, and these were younger men. You know, you look back in the scriptures, men were living, you know, hundreds of years. The Lord cut that short. Then, you know, maybe 100 years or 80 years, the Lord cut that short. You know, now you got guys dropping. With all this GMO shit, 60 years, you know, 50 years. And that's happened, that's widespread, man. And that's part of the curses that were placed on us. All right. And Esau helps to perpetuate that because they give the okay for the GMO food. They give the okay for the fast food, the deep fried shit, the pork being in everything. All right. So the Lord is going to have to deal with that. And that's that, man. Hey, the Lord is starting to bring judgment and visitation on this earth. That's why it's important. What does it say? What does the scripture at? Say, oh yeah, yep. 1 Thessalonians 5:22. This verse 5, 1 Thessalonians 5:20. Despise not prophesying, right? And when we go into prophecy, you know, you got a lot of these people, they hate what we're saying. They hate it. They hate seeing us stand out in the corner. They hate listening to us. You know, they hate the videos. All this hate for us, but you're supposed to be a Christian. You're supposed to love everybody. All right? You're supposed to embrace everything, right? Not the case. They hate the word of the Lord. That's all we're doing is reading out of the book. And if we don't read out this book, if we change out the words out of this book, number one, you're going to get kicked out of this great millstone. But number two, the Lord said, I will take away your part out of the book of life. All right, it says, verse 21, prove all things in the scriptures. Hold fast that which is good, exactly. So there's no giving over to, you know, the bullshit. And that's a process, you know, because you got to understand what the bad is, you know, along with the good. But once you know, you know. I abstain from all appearance of evil, all of it. You know, you got the famous picture of Vocab Malone. He's doing a lesson in a Cobra Commander hat and a matching hoodie or something. Like, bro, you got Israelites doing videos, you know. I mean, where you know, brothers are bringing out, they're smoking blunts. Hey, you know, in the tale of the Maccabees, you had the older man. He wouldn't even give the appearance that he was eating pork. All right, he wouldn't even give the appearance of any of that. There's no gift to any of that, man. Hey, and that's what it means, man. When the scriptures say, "Hate the evil and love the good," man, you don't have to embrace that shit. You don't have to. You really don't even have to pretend to accept any of that. All right, because the way of this world, they'll try to, you know, make you kind of go along with which to an extent you do. There is a balance of that. You do have to kind of go along on some things, but then some things you don't have to. All right, you don't have to. You have to follow these people. Shit, if they offer you, you know, here's a pepperoni pizza. You say, nah, I'm on a diet right now. Boom. That's it on that. Right, whoever looking at you funny, you already know this motherfucker got Satan on it. And it's a whole bunch of more, examples on that too. Hey, if somebody, you out somewhere, you at, I don't know, in public somewhere, somebody offer you a cigarette or a blunt, you gonna, man, that shit out my face. I don't even, you don't even want to be caught holding it, for a picture or none of that shit. For a look or to try to impress somebody, nah. Abstain from all the appearances of doing evil. All right. Hey, certain things, man, just don't match well with the scriptures. You don't want to be preaching with. I've seen people preaching with gold teeth and shit. That stuff goes back to Egypt. You look at those Egyptian sarcophaguses. They had those gold teeth, those silver teeth, which a lot of the culture that we're in now, especially so-called black culture, is influenced by that. Again, Esau pushes that Egyptology vibration, to our people. All right. So, you don't want to be wearing glasses or, you got a shirt with a giant snake on it or something. Come on now, man. We're supposed to be doing the work of the Lord. All right. Hey, the Lord had a specific, we're not in a state where you can't necessarily wear mixed fabrics. We don't make our own fabric. But, hey, you want to try to, make yourself, look the best that you can, man. Hey, the priests had the most royal garments out of Israel. The priests had the most royal garments. All right, the scriptures tells you about that. They had they got the censer, they got all those things. Now, we don't put all that on. We put sackcloth on, as a representation of us mourning for our nation. But hey, ultimately, that's what the Lord required us to do until a certain time where we're put back into that higher estate. All right. Hey, and that's pretty much it on that, man. It's just being in a balance and seeking after the spirit of the Lord. You don't want to fall to the ways of this world, trying to do shit for a look. You got to go around, Jake. You got to sag your pants to look cool and all that. Hey, you ain't got to do all that. Abstain from the appearance of evil. All right, we know that shit started off in prison. Everybody know the story on that, but Jake still do it because females like it. The rapper does it or whatever. Hey, man, look, fuck a rapper, fuck all that. We go back to ancient men, all right, who were hardened, by going through the different adversities, just like we're going through now. All right, but they knew the Lord. They were born in it. And they knew all these things. They were coming back to that spirit, that ancient man's spirit. All right, the giants of the earth, giants of men. All right, when you look at these different stars of heaven, that's basically the respect that they're given, just like the giants of men. You look at Denzel, people respect him like he's a giant of men, just like it talks about in Genesis. All right, those are the men that we come from. That's the heritage, the goodly heritage the Lord has given us. May we continue in that. Call Lord Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai Ba'ashim Kakadash. Hey, Lord willing, is edifying. Shalom.